So the next presenter actually is Dr. Bhaskar Choudhury. And Dr. Bhaskar is a field wildlife veterinarian whose core responsibilities include wildlife rescue and rehabilitation, necropsy in captive and free-ranging wildlife, captive elephant health and husbandry, and training of forest personnel and veterinarians, including students. Dr. Bhaskar is a member of the IUCN SSC Asian Elephant Specialist Group and also Asian Rhino Specialist Group. But his species of interest are Asian elephants, adjutant storks, and slow loris. And the presentation today is titled Nursing and Rehabilitation of Orphan Asian Elephant Calves in Assam, India. So Dr. Bhaskar, whenever you're ready, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
First of all, thanks Heidi, Asian Elephant Support, and the Dr. Daniel for organizing such a wonderful online webinars and disseminating knowledge experience through this. It's been really wonderful. Thank you. Just for the sake of my internet connectivity, I'll switch off my video and I can share my screen. Is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So this presentation is about the rescued elephant calves and how we have prepared themselves for eventual release back to the wild, and with limited number of individuals, 29 individuals we have tried with. What are the results? What are the lessons that we have learned? And what are the challenges that we have faced? We are at the northeast corner of the country, and we are close to Southeast Asia, South Asia, then the mainland India. And these red dots actually are where our rehab stations or rehab centers are located. We are a multi-species rehabilitation facility, wildlife rescue rehabilitation facility. And this was established in 2001 near the iconic Kaziranga National Park. And since then, we have attended to about 10,000 animals, and we could release 60% of them back to the wild. So when we say multi-species, we also admit elephants, rhinos, and also as small as the particulate flying squirrel or the bubuk owlets or tigers and hog deer. Elephants distribution in our state and the country, I think we have the largest population of Asian elephants in the world. And our distribution of population is throughout the state. As you can see, those dots are the elephant ranges. And we have about 5,800 to 900 wild elephants and a sizable captive elephant population as well, which is about 800 to 1,200 elephants. And unlike many captive facilities in the globally, our captive population is breeding well. They are not bred, but they are reproducing well because they live in a near natural environment. So our relationship with elephants dates back historically to about 7th century, and it's been a long association, especially with elephants bringing into captivity and used for logging or for wars or other purposes, transportation of goods, railway tracks. And that is why our association with elephants and thereby knowledge about husbandry and management is quite long. In early 20th century, this is what Dr. A.J. Milroy documented, and this is basically probably the first of its kind book that is written on management of elephants in captivity. It deals with how we should manage elephants in captivity. How do we maintain a healthy population of captive elephants, and various laws and procedures that has to be followed. But having said that, in your screen, if you see the picture of the 18th century and early 21st century, we are basically still evolving very little on the management as such of Asian elephants. You can see the rope around the elephant, which is being trained, and you can see the pattern is almost the same even now. So the evolution has happened, but it is very gradual. Coming back to Asian elephants and elephant calves, we all know that the most vulnerable period for an elephant is the newborn elephants up to an age of 3 to 4 years when it is weaned off. So that is most vulnerable. You can see the video of a newborn calf. It is fluffy little calf, incoordinated in its movement, doesn't know how to use its trunk, tail, extremely vulnerable, and without the support of the mother and the family, it will not survive. So when we get such elephant calves in the wild, in a situation like this, we coined the term disadvantaged elephant calves. They need human support. If the family or the herd is not around, they need human support for survival. Why do we get these elephant calves? There are various reasons. I'm just putting a pie diagram of how we have found elephant calves over the years, and is there any seasonal pattern in admission of those or attending to those elephant calves? You can see the monsoon and the winters. It is in the peak, but not so during the pre-monsoon and the summer months. So the first reason for displacement is when we find an elephant calf all alone without a family or a herd or any member of the family mostly in a human habitat or close to human habitat or in a T state. So this happens especially during winters when elephants move across large distances within a very short period. Mostly these herds are obligatory crop raiders, and they are chased away from their area from one place to the other. And if they have very young calf, it is not surprising that they lag behind, and thereby they get separated and they get disoriented in a human habitat. The picture on the right, I'm sorry to show you. This is again because of the high human-wildlife conflict. You can see the feet of the calf is burned. So we also get calves like that. One of the obvious reasons is when the mother dies. It has become an orphan, and if there is no herd or family member around, without human support, it will probably die of starvation. Interestingly, we also have a long history of elephant captures from the wild, trained for use in captivity. Although the government has banned elephant capture way back in 2003, there are few examples of illegal captures that were seized by Wildlife Department, and we got an opportunity to work with 3 of such calves, which had serious injuries because of rope burn, and they were silently trained inside the forest itself, and we managed to release all 3 of them with radio collars later. The video shows that how a single mahout with one trained elephants, they are called kunkis here, can actually capture 2 elephants and bring it to a camp. So these mahouts are really skilled. Sometimes, because of natural reason also, we need to intervene if they are within human habitats and if there is a strong demand for rescue or intervention of these cubs. If it happens inside natural protected areas, we don't intervene. So when we get any elephant calf, the first attempt is to see if the family or herd is nearby, and if there isn't, we take that opportunity to check whether reunion is possible or not. So in all these rescues, the first attempt is to check whether any possibility of reunion is there. We have achieved it for 10 times since 2001. It's largely circumstance driven. What happens and what is happening in the circumstance, when the location, where are the herd, how far you have to take the calf. And when we find the calf disoriented and barely can move or not, doesn't have coordination in the gait. So what we do is normally hang around a blanket like that, and without any support or without any direction, without any rope, you can guide the calf to an area of your choice or towards a herd if it is nearby. You can bathe it with natural streams and mask the smell with the dung of the family and try and check if the elephant calf is accepted by the family or herd if they are around. If the reunion is not possible, then the other option is to transport it. We transport the elephant calves. Transportation is highly stressful for any animal, and be it elephant as well. So we give a sedative, and this is the sedative that we use, ketamine and miditomidine, which gives us a nice timeline for about 120 minutes, depending on the terrain. And sometimes they are transported in car and sometimes in boats like that. When they land up in captivity, the challenge of nursing starts. And let me tell you, the mortality among elephant calves under nursing is very, very high. We have experienced high mortalities. I think Sri Lanka also have reported higher mortalities. And it's because we do not have the appropriate milk formula to raise an elephant calf. We do not have a choice but to use formula that is available for human infant. Appropriate husbandry, and how do you address the stress, the immense stress the calf has undergone during separation and being alone. So these are the 3 key things that decide the survival of the elephant calf during nursing phases. Allow mothering is seen sometime, but you have to be very, very cautious in putting a newly rescued wild elephant calf to a captive female, and there may be serious aggression and the calf may die. So you have to know the female and the personality beforehand and try it. If it accepts, that's I think the first hurdle is passed. Now, for long-term rehabilitation of any orphan Asian elephant calf, the first question is, do we have the resource, have the plan, have the infrastructure to do it? If you don't, I think the best choice is to give to any facility who does it, so that the calf receives the best possible care for survival. And the other thing is, most of these rescued calves actually land up in captivity in captive elephant camps in Asia or India as well. So we tried the release back to the wild method, reintegration of these calves in the wild herd, and that is why our husbandry and management is a little different from other captive facilities. The initial stabilization is extremely critical. you have to secure and comfort the calf. Elephants are highly social animal. They have social hierarchy. Separation from the family mother is extremely stressful. So how can you replace it with a family of the same species or human caretakers, and how you can best stabilize the calf? We do a quick physical and clinical examination on arrival. Obviously, any elephant calf if you rescue, there will be some degree of dehydration, hypo or hypothermia based on the weather and climate, and the plan for your nursing. Aging is important because the milk formula changes every month for Asian elephants. So we have come up with an estimate age for each of these elephant calves based on the references available and our own records and records from the captive elephants. This initial phase of accepting the bottle and the keeper to drink milk is extremely critical, and this requires immense patience. There can be, from our experience, it takes about, some calves takes it within few hours, but some take about 48 hours to actually grasp the bottle, grasp the nipple, and actually suckle it with good suckling reflex. We give them initially oral rehydration solutions with or without glucose because we know that they may aspirate while trying to suckle from a milk bottle. And then when it is actually suckling and suckling well, then we replace it gradually with milk formula. The other key factor is the temperature of the milk formula, which should be very close to the body temperature of the calf. Elephant milk itself is very amazing in nature, and there are a few studies which has been done now, and it fluctuates throughout the lactation, and there are a few literatures on the gut microbiota as well. So now after since 2014-15, now we know better how elephant milk qualitatively and quantitatively looks like, and what are the gut microbiota dominant in the gut microbes. So that helps in nursing and prepare a milk formula accordingly. This is the formula that we have been using for last 5 years. It is giving us amazing results. We have only one mortality for last 5 years because of digestive issues, which is a low lactose formula produced by Nestle, which is for human infants, but it seems to be the elephant calf seem to accept the formula very well. This is the feeding schedule that we follow for 0 to 6 months of age, and this is available in the literature that is there. There's a handbook on nursing elephants, which I will give in the last part of my slides. On the day of arrival, if CBC and chemistry profile is done, you got to know under what the calf better its vitals are working well or not. And if facilities are available, you should screen it for EHV. Having said that, the samples that are collected is obviously blood, because you cannot collect a trunk wash from an elephant calf, newly rescued elephant calf. And it gives you a baseline only that whether it has any viremic stage of EHV when it is admitted. The nursery is a basic facility. It's a sort of a quarantine facility, but we do not essentially quarantine any Asian elephant calf on its admission, unless it comes with obvious signs of illness or any disease process during admission. So it stays in small cubicles, and there is an indoor exercise yard. This facility is exactly looks like the Sri Lankan facility in Udawalavi they have, And we use thatch as the bedding material, and which is sun-dried and kept it clean. We use blankets during winters, which keep them warm, apart from the oil-based heaters that we use in many pens. There were experiments that can we reduce the habituation of feeding by people, but it doesn't seem to work really well. And if you can see, all three calves actually drink in a very in a particular pattern. If you look at the trunk tip, the calf is grasping. The two calves are grasping in one part of the bottle, while the third calf is not putting its trunk on the bottle at all. So each calf actually drinks milk in a certain way, and you have to realize that it should feel comfortable while suckling and should not struggle. Monitoring is the key, and body weight monitoring is a standard that we use if the facility is available, and that gives a very good indication of early signs of any disease process if there is gradual fall. Otherwise, physical signs are eminent. I mean, everybody knows that the suckling reflex has to be good. It has to be active alert. All elephant calves has to be active alert, and it sleeps between each food. It makes loud cry for when it is hungry. The body weight and the stool. The stool has to be semi-solid, pale yellow when it is drinking infant formula, artificial milk formula. We have tried to monitor some fecal cortisols of captive born as well as rescued calves. And we haven't found any significant difference between calves that are raised by natural mothers and calves that are raised by us. But this is only for a 2-week period that we monitor, which we can use as an indicator of monitoring stress or monitoring progress. For release back to the wild, there are 2 institutions which has been doing it very, very successfully over the years, and our protocol is a mix of both the facility. Site selection for rehabilitation, we have few matrices which we try to measure when we when we try to choose a site for rehabilitation of elephant calves. You know that in India, human and wildlife conflict is a serious issue, and the community acceptance for more additional elephants, even if it is 1 or 2, is a serious question. So we have to choose the site very, very carefully, and those sites which have least amount of conflict or history of conflict is chosen. So that's one of the key criteria. Disease investigation, as my previous speaker has said. And one of the key thing is post-release monitoring. If you are releasing them, you have to monitor them and monitor them very closely for a long term. And that's why we have put radio collars on each of these calves before release. So in the release site, the acclimatization phase is when the keepers take them to the forest, like we do in our rescue centers while they are being nursed. They don't spend the whole day at the nursery. They go to the nearby forest. They are taken to the nearby forest by keepers. They spend the day there. They are kept. They are fed milk formula at the site itself, and they come back in the evening. The same protocol is followed in the release site after they are translocated to the release area. And gradually the keeper dependence reduces as we stop all kinds of food for all the elephants. And then when we see that they are independently ranging, we only monitor them remotely. So we do 2 kinds of monitoring. One is the basic monitoring, like whether they survive or not, are they surviving, and how they are ranging. The special monitoring that we need to do in elephants is or we do in elephants is that whether they are actually integrating with a wild family or herd. So our indicator of successful rehabilitation of a rescued elephant calf is this. If they have joined an elephant herd or a family, that is when they are considered they are released, otherwise not. These are some of the results. So you can see there are individual differences in ranging pattern. There are sexual depending on age and sex. And when you see the carnal density, you can see they have gradually expanded their ranging areas. And this is when they are actually exploring the habitat. And during these explorations, if they meet wild elephant when they are, integrated with a wild family, that is when they are considered that they have been rehabilitated. But the release, post-release monitoring continues even after this. So in the video, you can see a small family of wild elephants of 3 individuals. There are a few which is not there in the camera screen. And there will be 2 rescued elephant calves joining them and following them. That is when we consider them to be rehabilitated. But we continue to monitor them for at least 1 year or so, because these associations can be temporary as well. So we have to monitor them for a long time. What we have seen is these rescued elephant calves actually first interact with the juvenile of wild families. You can see 2 juvenile elephants here. The smaller one is the rescued elephant calf, and the older one, male, is the wild calf. You can see the wild elephant gradually approaches, and there is an interaction. The rehab elephant is a little nervous, but this is a critical phase for its life. If it decides to follow and then integrate into a wild family, it gets a chance or an opportunity to go back to the wild again. Our success percentage is 35% of the 29 calves we have released so far. There are few deaths. 3 of the deaths we have attributed to interspecies aggression after they are integrated with wild family. And the other reason is stress induced. If there is chronic stress, there is loss of condition, then they have died because of parasitic or bacterial diseases. So this is just an example of an elephant family of 3. The mother died. There were 2 calves. The older one is a male, the younger one is a female. And we had to rescue both of them from a riverbed. And the male was subjected to captivity, but the female we decided to release. And she was raised in the rescue center, and then she was released eventually. And we are very happy to see that she has got an opportunity to go back to the wild again and live a free life after that. The major challenge is during nursing is the digestive gastrointestinal issues, mostly indigestion, intolerance because of the formula, and there are secondary infections by Clostridial and other bacterial diseases. How do we manage it? One of the key things is to monitor body weight. If there is progressive decline in body weight gain for 2 to 3 days, we are alarmed, and then we withdraw the milk. We start with probiotics, and we move on to antibiotics if necessary, supplement of zinc, and aggressive fluid therapy if it is needed. So monitoring stool color consistency at each point of time is very, very important. The other new challenge is the herpes virus. Although we had only 4 mortalities over the years, but it is a challenge because it neither has a vaccine, and we are not sure which elephant is shedding what. And we have recorded 2 subtypes of this virus. We have 3 survivors after treatment. The next challenge is while monitoring, elephant monitoring itself is quite challenging, and there can be technical issues, or there can be terrain vegetation, or seasonal issues during monsoon, during heavy rains. Monitoring elephants through VHF or satellite telemetry can be challenging. So if we can sum up what we have learned so far is that rehabilitation reintegration of rescued elephant calves is possible, but the success depends on a great extent on the individual temperament of the calf, and the monitoring has to be really long. At least 24 to 36 months of monitoring is needed to safely say that our calf has been rehabilitated. The weaned calves found to be independent of human care within 2 to 4 months after translocation. The translocated group of calves, the calves that you raise together at the nursery, can disintegrate or has disintegrated after 3 to 4 months and form their own small groups or individuals and start exploring the habitat for resources. And that is when they encounter wild elephants and families, wild herd and family. And the ranging area is based on age, sex, and the limited number of studies show that it can vary from as little as 52,000 to 139,000 square kilometers. It again largely depends on sex and age and the resources that is available. One of the key things that I think we use the term imprinting and habituation very commonly. While nursing any wild animal in captivity, it is not the imprinting that happens, but it is actually the habituation that is. The animal do not react to the stimulus that it should react. So that is why the human habituation has to be minimized, avoided at all possible way, and allowing animals to interact with their own species rather than with keepers is the way forward. These are some of the references that you can go through, especially Elephant Care International has published Hand Raising Orphan Asian Elephant Practical Guide Manual, where many authors, including me, have contributed our experience. And about rehabilitation, we have 2 publications. With this, I conclude my presentation. I'll be very, very happy to answer any questions that you have. It's a great teamwork. It is not that I have done it. It's a team of about 50 individuals, plus a number of forestry and mahouts, captive elephants that have helped us in achieving this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bhaskar, for your wonderful work and presentation. It was really, really interesting. And there are a few questions. I would like to just read that. Though you have answers for this during your presentation, still I would like to just read them. It's a question from Nimadi Ferawati. Very nice presentation, sir. Do you make your own milk formula for all hand-reared elephants? Is there any side effect when using human milk formula?
Yes, we don't make it. We mix. Suppose you are using a low lactose formula, and you know that elephant milk is not lactose free, but it is moderate in lactose. So you have to replace it with some ingredient which gives the energy that is required for the elephant to survive. So it's a mix of it's a combination of 2 or 3 elements that we give to the elephant calf. The details are there in the elephant care manual, you can go through. It is based on the availability and the cost of the ingredients. Currently, we are using that low lactose formula with cereals and vitamins and minerals to add to the milk formula that we are given. So yes, we don't make it, but we mix at least 3 or 4 ingredients to suit it closely with the natural milk.
Yeah. Thank you. There's another question from Mohammed Abdul Razak. Can you give tranquilizers such as cloxpixol or Coface during translocating elephant calves?
I think he's referring to long-acting tranquilizers. We haven't used that. We have used only sedatives and analgesic, like miditomidine and ketamine works really well for young elephant calves. You can give, we have given ketamine alone as well. It depends on what is the purpose and what is the distance you want to cover during your transport, and what is the age, size, and temperament of the elephant. So based on that, you can choose your drug, but we have used only miditomidine and ketamine so far. Yeah.
That's a question from Dr. Rupan Navanitha Krishnan. Great presentation, Dr. Bhaskar. During the first 3 years of age, do you add anything at all with the milk formula? Example, rice porridge, multigrain cereal. When do you start weaning and how? That's a question.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Nice question, actually. We start multigrain cereals, adding multigrain cereals from the age of 3 months. And then gradually we wean at 3 years of 2.5 to 3 years of age. Again, it depends on what is the weight gain and how healthy the calf is. And after 6 months or so, we have introduced a commercial equine pellet, which is balanced with minerals and vitamins, and they have so far worked very well. And we continue to supply that till we translocate the calves to the release site. Apart from that, our management is such that from early morning till late evening, these elephants are not fed anything at all. After they are weaned, and they get concentrate only after when they return from the forest. So yeah.
Okay. There's another question from Dr. Rupan. Do you have to replace the radio collars for monitoring, given the elephants are collared as juveniles and they grow out and they outgrow it?
Oh yeah, nice question again. I think all the collars that we use are not ready-made collars. We have to specifically order these collars to the vendors because they don't make it for young elephants or young rhinos. So we give them the neck circumferences, and we always put a weak link on the collar so that in case the elephant gains weight or we lose contact with the elephant, there is no danger of suffocation and dying because of the collar. If the collar is suddenly stop transmitting signal, then we unfortunately have to physically track the elephant and then replace the collar if we have to monitor it for a long term.
Okay, that's a question from Ziamin. This is a really interesting presentation and wishes. How to make a group before release? How about interaction with the wild elephants when they meet? Do you have a regular monitoring system?
Yeah, we don't make the group, and fortunately or unfortunately, we get at least 3 to 4 calves every year. So we always have calves of different age groups, and we always allow them to interact from, say, after 2 to 3 weeks. And within that group, you can see how the permutation and combination is working. And we have seen that the eldest female always assumes the role of a matriarch, sort of. And she is always alarmed by any movement around, and then she immediately comes to the youngest elephant if there is a cry. So you know that what is a group formulation? What is the group that is forming and how they will behave. and you can allow them to interact. There will be aggressions within elephant groups, of course, because it's natural. Some are really bully and aggressive, and that is how they learn as well. And but interestingly, when you translocate them to the release site, the same close bonded group disintegrates, and they disintegrate into 2, 3, and sometimes even single individuals are also there. So why it happens, we don't know, but we have seen it in all the groups that we have translocated so far. For interaction or integration of rescued elephants with the wild herd, I think any wild herd, especially the juveniles, are very curious about presence of any wild, any in the foreign individual around that their herd. They are the first to interact, and then slowly these elephants, start following the herd. If the adults, tolerate the presence of the calf, they can easily integrate. Some adults are really good mothers, or they accept the foreign calves easily, and that becomes easier. But sometimes there is aggression also we have seen, and thereby disintegration we have seen. So it's a very fascinating, chemistry that goes on, and it is fun to observe their interactions, and finally, when you see your calf is integrating with the wild family, you are happy.
Okay. Thank you. There is another question from Dr. Ganga, Sri Lanka. Do you have any experience feeding fresh milk, cow or goat to elephant calves?
We used cow's milk before. In fact, we have raised our second calf with cow's milk because it was rescued by somebody else, and that elephant was already having cow's milk. It grew well, and it didn't have any digestive issues. So, but we won't. Now we know we have enough references that cow's milk are not tolerated well by elephant gut. So I think we should avoid it.
Okay. Another question from Dr. Kanishka. When will you change the milk to semi-solid or solid feed, and how many times do we need to feed one day?
It's a very gradual process. We give milk formula at least for 2.5 to 3 years. So milk continues, but the frequency and the amount will reduce. And whereas introduction to solids starts at 6 months, although we start adding few cereals from 3 months onwards and see whether the elephant is accepting it, and is there any digestive disturbance. So it's a very, very gradual process. And if there is any disturbance, any GI disturbance, you immediately stop it. But after 6 months, when they are into taking grasses along, and there is change in its microbiome and change in the color and consistency of the stool, then you can easily increase or reduce the amount of concentrate you want to give, and how the calf is growing. It should grow at least 800 to 800 grams to 1,000 grams per day during the first 6 months of age. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Bhaskar. There are many questions, more than 6, 7 questions. I think we have limited time. Dr. Bhaskar, can you just respond to those questions in the chat box? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, okay. And then if my email is also there, if you can type it there, then I can
Please
do it at my leisure.
Yeah. I can also send you all the questions. Maybe we can, but it will be nice if you just respond to that in the chat box itself. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks.
Now I just hand over the session to Heidi, Dr. Heidi Renner.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Bhaskar. That was very interesting. And yeah, hopefully maybe you can answer some of those questions so that we can record them, because this will be available as a link for people who are not able to log in right now. And we've had pretty good amount of people that have wanted to log in and listen to the interactions. So it would be great if you can answer in the chat box. So moving on to the last presentation today, it will be from Dr. Arman Sayuti. Dr. Arman is a wildlife veterinarian from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine from the Syakwala University in the province of Aceh, Indonesia. He graduated in 1998 as a doctor of veterinary medicine, and since 2000, Dr. Arman has been a lecturer at the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine in the Veterinary Surgery Department. In 2004, he received a master's degree from the Gajah Mada University, and since 2015, Dr. Arman is a senior veterinarian at the Center for Wildlife Study from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine at Syakwala University in Aceh Province, Indonesia. Today, the presentation will be about medical treatment activities of Sumatran elephants at the Elephant Training Center in Aceh Province, Indonesia. And the presentation will be pre-recorded, but Dr. Arman